Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another video? There's another paid request. This time for Eelco. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Once again, I want to give a shout out to the guys that did pay if they ever see this. Thanks for the shirt. Really like this shirt. Very cool. Make the Rambo Raft move. Smooth style, with some mellow yellow. But Eelco wanted me to watch him review Happy Death Day to You. Like I said, for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, reviews, topics, reactions, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box underneath each of these videos. Now, the first Happy Death Day I did like. I do enjoy. I thought that it was I'm a sucker for the Groundhog Day type of premise. Of course, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray is a very funny comedy to me. I love Edge of Tomorrow. I would say that's my favorite Tom Cruise film. There was a really good X-Files episode called Monday where it was a bank robbery and Mulder and Scully get killed. But then one of the robbers, she keeps reliving the day over and over again, and then Mulder starts noticing something's up, and it's again pretty good. It was one of the better episodes of that season. I forget which season it was, 6 or 7, somewhere around there. What else? Boss Level with Frank Grillo. That was a fun movie. One I haven't seen is called 1201 with Jonathan Silverman for Weekend at Bernie's. But it had that format. Like I said, I like that format. The idea of something repeats over and over again, and then you're wondering if you turn left instead of right, what other events could occur. I just find that fascinating. Now, the first movie, like I said, had a cool premise to do that with a slasher film, and it's also a comedy. Granted, these are PG-13, and a slasher film being PG-13 seems a bit counterintuitive. I do think these films could work better with R rating, but I still enjoyed the story. I thought the lead, Jessica Rothe, is that her last name? R-O-T-H-E, Rothe. She did a wonderful job. She did a wonderful job. She was very likable. Even though she was supposed to be, at the beginning, unlikable. But I bought her arc. I thought she did a good job. She was the heart of the movie. Same with this movie. I like the guy who plays Carter, who becomes her boyfriend. I thought the cast did a really good job. Now, by the end of the film, I thought, okay, it's a one and done deal. And when I heard there was a sequel, I'm like, I don't think this film needs a sequel. The first one was a decent sized hit, but I think that's why this sequel didn't do well. I don't know if I would say it bombed, but it didn't do well, even though there's talks of a third movie. Because I think a lot of people felt the same way I do. Do you really need a sequel? Like, not every film needs a sequel. But I have seen this film before and didn't mind it. And I still don't mind it. I think the first film is a bit more focused. It feels a bit more fresh. The slasher element works a bit better. Because here the slasher element, it seems almost obligatory. Like, it doesn't fit natural. Because there's a good chunk of this film, you forget that any aspect of this is a slasher movie. Like, it's a little bit at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and then the finale. But there's good chunks that it feels more just sort of a sci-fi, comedy, drama. And I don't know, I still don't know how I feel about them explaining why the first film happened. And they do explain it. I still don't know how I feel about that. I mean, if you like your explanations, here you go. You find out this student Ryan and other people were doing this experiment with quantum mechanics. Things went haywire. That's why our Tree, Jessica Roth's character, was stuck in the time loop in the first movie, and now this Ryan guy at the beginning is stuck in his time loop, and then Jessica notices and tries to help him, and then she realizes that this guy Ryan, played by Fai Vu, I like her reaction because she realizes that it's his fault and how pissed she gets. Like I said, the film I don't think is as good as the first one, but it still has, once again, a fast pace. It was never boring. The cast worked very well, and that's what really helps the film a bit. And it still got a good heart. And there's one part that I go, this is why they made the film. I still don't think it necessarily needed to get made. I don't think this needed to be a franchise. But it's the bit with her mom. I'll say this. If you've seen the film, the mom, the birthday cake, the music and that, I think that's what this film culminated to. And the thought process and why this got made. And that was a very sweet scene, which I'll get to. I would say my favorite bit in the movie. That was the heart of the movie. And I think that's why it helps me, even though, like I said, I don't think it was needed. I was still happy enough with the sequel. And if they do a third film, I'd be interested as well, because the actors do their jobs well, the characters end up being likable, and I'd be curious to see where they went with. So at the end of the day, I'm still fine with this existing. It didn't hurt the first one. It didn't harm the first one. Even though, yes, they explain why this is happening, it still didn't hurt it. Which, you know, sequels, a lot of times nowadays, do have a tendency to do that. But like I said, Ryan, he's not repeating the day. And there's another person in this, the goofy baby. I always thought there was a goofy mask. It was part of the school. I know it's part of the school thing, but it's still a goofy fucking mask. But I guess that's because it's not supposed to be taken seriously. He gets stabbed. He wakes up. Jessica Rothe finds out, tries to help him. And then you find out the killer is actually another version of Ryan, and now we're dealing with other dimensions. Not dealing with time anymore, not just time, it's also dimensions. Because it leads to working on this quantum mechanic thing, there's a big blast, everyone flies back. And so she's repeating the day again, but it's also in another dimension. So that's the difference they do. Which I will say is kind of interesting. So it doesn't make it seem like just the exact same thing. But I think for a lot of people, if they saw the film or they didn't like the film, they still thought it was a bit too similar for their liking. And I can understand. Now, I will say when this blast happens, why is it just her that goes into another dimension? Like, nobody else does it? Or it doesn't go to someone else? Or it doesn't go to the Carter, the boyfriend guy, or anything else? I just technically went to the Ryan guy first, but nobody else. But yeah. I guess for her to star in the movie, I had to go to her again. And in this universe, she knows things are off. The bitchy lady, Danielle, is not too bitchy. In fact, she's going out with Carter, her boyfriend. Now Danielle's going out with him. Lori, the girl that tried to kill her in the first film, she is actually a friend here. And mostly, her mom is alive. And that's like the big thrust of the emotion part of the movie, is she's alive. And that's why our character is feeling like she wants to stay, because she wants to stay in the place that her mom's still alive, which is perfectly understandable. And yeah, we gotta get this scene worked again and shoot it off so that things don't go even worse. So there comes to a point where she's a living recorder where they do these calculations, and each day she just kills herself and tries to remember so that they could do more. But this is what I'm getting at, where the slasher serial killer aspect seems like... I would not be surprised if the writer of the film went, fuck, I gotta put this damn slasher thing in there. Like, he had a story, and it's like, fuck, I gotta fit this thing in. Because it's called Happy Death Day. Because that's very much a background, the stalker stuff, the slasher, that's background. It's at the beginning of the film to initiate the situation. Then there's a point where she thinks it's Lori, but it's not. And she accidentally falls off a roof, and she even gets mad at herself. Oh, great, rookie mistake. And then it's put in there for like little important plot points, but it's not the big skeleton of the movie. I don't know how else to make sense. Maybe people are like, what the hell are you talking about? But I would say if you're going in for a slasher movie, this is not that's not the number one thing. Not by far. Because it's PG-13 yet again. And like I said, it feels as if they were kind of handcuffed to this and like, well, it's called Happy Death Day, so we gotta put it in there somehow. But when we can, let's get away from it. And like I said, there's a good chunk that you completely forgot. Like when she doing the experiments, she kills different ways of killing herself, whether with Drano, getting almost naked, jumping off a plane. And you know, that got some fun bits of humor. There's some decent direction. Like there's a bit where she jumps off, and it's a great scene transition where she's fallen. As she's fallen, like the portal opens up and she lands on her bed. The transition from death to waking up again. I thought that was a good transition scene. And I thought Jessica Rothe, once again, was the heart and soul of the movie. She made the film absolutely watchable. Lo and behold, this is how you can write a likable female character. Happy Death Day, Happy Death Day 2. You watch those films back to back, that's how you write a female character. And this was 2019. So people go, well, you just talk about, you know, movies in the 80s. This is 2019. A likable female character that is not man-hater. If she has selfish desires, they're understandable, like wanting to stay in the place that her mom's still alive. But this in the spoilers, I mean, I was spoiling, but heavy spoilers. When it gets to the point that things are worked out and she's decided to stay, she wants to be with her parents and her mom. She sees on the news, though, that this guy, Carter, wanted to go help out at this hospital. He got killed trying to help. Because that's... Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, my throat got dry. He's the type of guy that wants to help. She notices this and says, no, I can't have this guy die. So drives a car into the power station. So number one, she'll die to redo the day, and number two, the power source knocks the device out so the guy could be saved. That was an unselfish thing to do. It shows that she's grown as a character because of the events of the first film and into this film. And then the realization of you can't live in the past and you gotta take a leap of faith, and she has to go back. And I thought the best scene in the movie, and I love this piece of music. I thought This is why a lot of times in my reviews I mention music, because I think a lot of times people forget how, when it works with the visuals, it could create a great cinema experience. And I think the actress they got to play the mom was very sweet, heartwarming. You can understand, no, because her mom, but it's this actress, like why she would want to stay. They share a wonderful scene together, back and forth dialogue. The dad brings out the birthday cake. They sing a happy birthday, and the way the music swells up, it's the best piece of music in the film. I think on YouTube, if you type in "Happy Death Day to You," I want to say "birthday candles." Let me try YouTube. I would play it, but I would probably get tagged on this, so. Yeah. Type up "Happy Death Day to You," birthday candles, and go to about the 2-minute and 39-second mark. Again, "Happy Death Day to You," birthday candles, and go to 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Then on, very beautiful music. And Bear McCreary, he did a wonderful job on that piece of music. That was beautiful. And the way that's done in slow motion, and the mom and daughter, one candle, they blow it out. I'm like, okay, this is why the movie exists. It's a very nice emotional moment, and it shows that the movie's got a good heart to it. And that's why, despite the fact that it's fresh as the original, despite the fact that the slasher elements are very subpar, even compared to the original, it's still PG-13 diluted. Because of the acting, because of the characters, because you actually like the characters, at least I do, and their banter is fun enough and enjoyable enough, and it's a short enough film, and you have scenes like this, it makes the film, at the very least, a decent watch. And spoilers. The device gets taken, they steal the device back. Like I said, there is some pretty goofy stuff in it. Like the Danielle, the bitchy lady in the first movie, she wants to be an actress, so in order to be a decoy for the dean, she's pretending to be a blind person and fumbling around and smacks a guy in the face. Pretty goofy. If I have to say a least favorite scene, it would be that scene. She's like, keep the device long enough. She's going to go do the right thing and save the people at the hospital. Again, this is where you get to the point, oh yeah, I forgot, there's a killer, and oh, here's who the killer was, and it just falls flat because you don't really care, because that's just not really the crux of the movie. It's the crux of the movie is not who the killer is, and it's just, oh shit, we gotta do this. So yeah, here are the killer, or killers. Okay, we got that stuff down now. Let's go on with the rest, the actual parts, the actual movie. And that's what I mean. It doesn't have a natural flow of the two, of slasher and teen comedy, Groundhog Day, like the first one did. This one, it's kind of like two themes, and the slasher one's like down here being pummeled down. I do like the slow motion bit. I thought that was well filmed, where the two are kissing as the device kicks off. Then decent music. Things work out the best. And then this weird thing where during the end credits they set up, I guess, a third film where DARPA hears about this and they want these kids help and they want a test subject. And so Tree decides Danielle, the bitchy lady, is the test subject. I don't know what the hell they would do with a third movie, like with DARPA now. And it's like, okay, I didn't know this is the direction this franchise was going, but I guess that's, you could say, is a bit more fresh compared to other movies. And if you do a third film, like when you worked with DARPA, who's going to be what? You don't force another killer in there, or is the DARPA guy going to be the killer? How the hell is that going to work? If they wanted this to be a franchise, I think the whole slasher element kind of bit them on the butt then. Because they did. This was never meant to be a franchise in the first place. So, but at least, I just say with some bits they are trying. The parallel dimension, like, they're trying. It doesn't feel... there's a lot of other sequels that feel like carbon copies than this one, so at least there's that. So overall, I do like the sequel. Again, I think the first one's better, but this has enough heart, enough bits with the characters. Jessica Rothe does another bang-up job. And these are, if you've never seen these are worth a watch. They're short, they're fast-paced. A likable lead lady who's actually written pretty decently as a character. And again, the guy who plays Carter, the boyfriend, I thought he did a good job. Didn't mind the other people as well. They weren't too annoying or irritating. They worked well. Like I said, some of the music by Bear McCreary is very solid. The stuff with the mom I thought was very heartfelt. Kind of remind me of another PG-13 slasher, The Final Girls, I believe it was called, and that was a pretty decent film. That's sad that didn't get a sequel, because it sets up for a sequel. And I guess that film didn't do well enough, and there's no sequel, which is too bad. Because The Final Girls, that's a pretty decent one. That's a fun one. See, that's a film that would have been nice to get a sequel. Like, people are like, what's a film you like to get a sequel? The Final Girls. That would have been decent. So Happy Death Day 2, it might not have needed to exist, but at the same time, I'm fine with it existing because it was a fun enough experience. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.